Good morning, friends. On the advisement of a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, I am overcoming some fears and getting out here and sharing with you a little bit. This is something that I've actually been pushed to for a very long time and have been finally just said, you know what, I am holding myself back by not doing this. So, sharing this for you, my vision for my messages are to encourage you to find your voice, to encourage you to reach deep and stand strong in who you are, and for you to remember that you are able to do it, whatever it is. Now, I know for me, the it has been many, many things. And I'm going to be sharing with you today about the ability to critically think and to understand what's going on, what we're told is going on, things like that. And my vision is always for you to take this information and to start doing research yourself, or to start doing things for yourself. You don't have to rely on me for knowledge or permission. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose is really for you to stand firm in your autonomy and in your sovereignty and in your divine mission. So you can accomplish that. Now, case in point, it's super, super funny because right now in the news, there are all kinds of things about things happening with Hamas and the Gaza Strip, Israel, peace talks, blah, blah, blah. And that is all super, super important. And I can't begin to tell you exactly what the reality is over there because, case in point, I did see two pictures yesterday of the same picture actually shared two different ways. The first way was a picture of a beautiful little girl, and someone said, "Oh, we feel so bad. Shame on the Israelis for killing this little girl." And the next picture was from the Israeli Defense Foundation, which issued a stern indictment to those people. Can't remember who the first people was who shared the picture, but they shared it in error. The IDF said, "This mother is irate that you're using her daughter's picture. She's happy and safe in X place." So we need to understand that what we're seeing is not necessarily what's happening. Case in point, I am enjoying a gorgeous day here in Virginia. I can't turn my screen, but you can see how bright it is by looking at my face. The sun is shining down, the sky is blue, the grass is green, the birds are chirping, and life is great. Now, I understand that, like, oh, but Heidi, like, I don't have a job, or the gas prices are X, or whatever, and I get that. I think what I want to illustrate, and if that's the case, I want you to share with me in the comments what is going on because I do want to know. But I think what we have to realize is in the case of this picture that I described earlier, is that many, many times what we're told on the news, it's not exactly reality. So we have to get a little bit better at discerning the difference between fact and fiction. And I think we're going to start to find what I have found over the years is that what's propagated towards me is often a distraction, first of all, from what's actually happening. Second of all, is 180 degrees from the truth. And so I have learned to regard information differently. So I take information in, I don't emotionally engage in it. I may say, and then I'll decide if I want to do something with it or not. And then if I choose to do something with it, I recognize that I have a job to do to really validate it. And in the case of the little girl, to get to the actual truth, and to realize, if there's a difference, why would one group choose to promote one message? If that message was incorrect, what vested interest would they have in promoting the incorrect message they're trying to share? Because a lot of times that incorrect message, when is falsehood ever a good idea? When is telling a lie ever a good idea? When you're trying to cover up the truth. And I'm not advocating lying, but I'm saying this typically people's argument. is that they want to lie because they don't want you to know what the truth is. And unfortunately, there are like millions of times over the last year where that's happened. And it's been our job to stand up and stand firm and know what the truth is. And so what does this mean for you and me? I mentioned the weather, I mentioned the beauty. For one thing, don't underestimate the power of getting outside, taking a break, and renewing yourself, renewing your mind, renewing your spirit, renewing your body, renewing your health. Right now I'm getting vitamin D. Vitamin D is a prime nutrient that my body needs to be healthy. And actually, vitamin D is incredibly effective against transmitted things of all kinds, if you get my drift. I have to be careful what I say. So getting out periodically in the sun is super important. And then the other thing this does is it grounds me in reality. I can actually go out. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to go out into the grass. I can't turn my screen, but I won't walk the 6 or so feet, 7 feet to the grass. I'm barefoot. Getting in the grass and grounding is super, super important and allows me to be able to connect with nature, with God. God made the ground. God made the trees. To be rooted and grounded kind of reminds me of the scripture, Ephesians 3:14 through 21, that rooted and grounded in faith, I may understand the breadth, height, depth, and love of God, which transcends all understanding. How important that is. Now, what do you do if you're in a situation where you just can't get out and do that kind of thing? You need to make the time. Find a few minutes. Hopefully life is not so hectic that you can't take a couple of minutes. Even if you have to check your voicemail or your email, go do it outside. It's warm outside. Take your shoes off, wear sandals, check your email outside, eat a salad for lunch. We'll talk about food another time. But find a way to nourish your soul and your body by taking a little bit of time for yourself. Don't get so busy that you're so wrapped up that you just can't keep up. The stresses of life that are inevitably coming at you right now aren't something you can handle. The healthier your body is, the easier it's going to be for you to handle that stuff. Now, I understand there are a lot of threats right now, and I want you to know that that doesn't mean that the birds chirping and the cicadas going are not, something you can go enjoy those, and it's going to help you to do that. Then we have to sort through the riffraff, figure out what's truth, what's not truth. That is going to be a massive next step, because I'm sure you're realizing that there's information's coming at us. We're getting bombarded at an insane rate. I have a few friends who've actually disconnected their Facebook accounts right now because they just were not in a position to want to keep up. I have many, many friends who've listened to me and gotten off of mainstream news, because the mainstream news is 24/7 fear, 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 fear. And there's enough, life has enough trouble of its own without having things thrown at you to remind you of how much fear you need to be in. So again, if you haven't heard me say this before, disconnect from mainstream news. You do not need to know what's going on 24/7, right? 99% of what's happening out there would happen with or without you. And what's getting promoted out there is not necessarily what's going on. I'm just telling you. If you turn off the news, it'll be easier for you to figure out and discern exactly what's going on. So keep that in mind. Keep the faith. What I want you to do is, if you're stressed, please take my advice and go stand in barefoot in the grass. Do that for a minute. A minute may seem like forever initially. You should feel better when you're done. All right, leave me a comment. Let me know what struggles you're dealing with. I would love to hear where you're from. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon.